Okay, so what I've done is I've signed into my eBay, and what I've done is I've gone to vehicle parts and accessories and input the British Motor Show Ford Mustang registration number, which has brought up a Ford Mustang 2020 5-litre V8, which is precisely what we have. Then what I've done is I've searched for service items, including air filter, and I have tried to search for used parts. We wouldn't be fitting a used air filter, but what we were searching for is maybe a new but never fitted. And by my luck has it, just here we have found ourselves an air filter. This air filter was bought specifically for a 2020 5-litre Mustang, which matches our vehicle's registration number, but was never fitted. The private individual has re-advertised that part, still as being brand new, but therefore, you know, he is being sustainable and reselling that part. We've purchased them parts and they're now on their way to Nigel. So let's see if they fit. Let's get it sorted. Thank you, eBay. Hi guys, we're at Samson Motor Engineers with the amazing British Motor Show Ford Mustang. As we discovered from last month's MOT, it's service time for the car. Our expert mechanic Nigel has given us a list of parts that we need for the car. We've managed to source these parts with ease through eBay. Some parts are refurbished or recycled, with others such as the brakes, for which safety is essential, we've had to buy new. Through the wide variety of products and parts that eBay has to offer, we've managed to find discs and pads suitable for this high-performance muscle car. Although some of these parts are recycled or refurbished, there are parts that we have bought second-hand. And by second-hand, I don't mean we are reusing oil filters and air filters. What I'm saying is there's people out there which have purchased these items for their car and didn't use them. Therefore, when they've put them on eBay to sell them, we have reused them, used them in our car, and they haven't gone to waste and they haven't gone in the bin. That way, eBay once again has saved parts from going in the bin, and they have also saved us money. Way to go, eBay. Hi Nigel, how you doing?
I'm very
nice
well,
to see you. Gloves are on. Health and safety is paramount, I can assure you. Guys, there's people at home, right, they're screaming down the camera going, I don't need to service my car every year. What's a service include and why do we need to do a service?
Right, well today we'll be changing the oil and filter, the air filter, the spark plugs and the front brake pads because they were advised at the MOT.
Okay.
It's important to change the oil because the oil degrades over time. It's essential. Some people say, just because I've done low mileage, I don't need to change my oil, I've only done 500 miles. Well, the cold oil is most important.
Okay.
You get more oil degradation with a cold engine than you do with a hot engine.
Okay, so the oil degrades quicker through being cold than it does constantly being run around the engine, basically,
And when an engine is cold, it's not running efficiently. Therefore, you get more carbon build-up, and the oil helps with modern oils that helps to keep that clean. Right,
got you. So basically, when the engine's running, the oil's being pumped round, the thickness and the substance of the oil changes, is that correct?
The viscosity will change. With modern oils, generally the viscosity is either a 0.30 or 5.30. That basically means that the viscosity doesn't break down much when the engine gets warmer.
Right, got you.
So you've got the more constant, whereas in the old days you used to get the oil a lot thinner when it get hotter, and it was thick and sludgy when it was cold.
Right.
Modern oils with modern detergents are a lot more efficient.
Got you, okay. So that being the oil filter, and people as well, you know, you must understand that your manufacturer's warranty, if you've got a newer car, also it's imperative that you get your car serviced as well. And you could also take your car serviced to any VAT registered garage, even if it is within its warranty period, is that correct?
That is correct, yes, providing you work to OE standards. And using OE parts. OE is original equipment. So providing you're using original equipment parts or equivalent, and you're working to the manufacturer's schedules, any VAT registered garage can service your vehicle.
That's amazing. So being here with a car that is under warranty is still not a problem for you people at home that will be wondering that. Spark plugs, okay, so spark plugs, I take it that's the most important part to ignite. Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. You know, to get that bang and that ignition, we need that spark, correct?
Correct. The modern spark plugs, these iridium plugs, quite an expensive plug, 36,000 mile service interval under normal circumstances. This car obviously has quite an arduous life, so we're changing them now. But that will be the first time in 5 years that it's actually had spark plugs, whereas again, previously, you'd change your spark plugs every 12,000 miles.
Wow.
But the saved by the bell.
So how often would you replace them on a normal car?
On the modern car now, the service interval is normally 36,000 miles.
Okay.
So it has stretched out quite considerably.
You get a bit more bang for your buck.
20, 30 years ago. Although the plugs are probably 5 times more expensive, you don't have to change them as often.
Perfect. Air filter. Let's talk air filter. So the air filter, that drags all the particles out of the air that come into it. Is that correct?
The idea of the air filter is obviously to filter the air so that you're not putting any foreign objects into the combustion chamber, and you're protecting the internals of the engine. As time goes on, the air filter will slowly get clogged, and it's therefore important that you change that periodically as well to keep the efficiency of the engine up.
Perfect. So these parts, so these oil and air filter, they are Ford genuine parts. So they left the factory from the Ford manufacturer, which means they're perfect for this car. They were second hand. So basically a person had purchased this oil and air filter from somewhere. They've obviously not used it on their car and put it for sale on eBay. We've checked the part numbers, and although those part numbers are correct for the car, it doesn't matter that they're second hand and we're buying them off eBay. Is that right?
Not at all, no. I mean, they're genuine parts. They've come genuine boxes. They're as good as going to Ford's and buying them.
Amazing. So stopping power. So stopping power, 60% of the front brakes are used more than the back brakes. So when you press your brake pedal, the weight of the car is transferred. So therefore your front brakes will deteriorate quicker than the rears. Is that correct?
That is very much so, yeah. And on this particular car, it's got Brembo 6-pot calipers. It's a very big braking system on the front of this vehicle. Again, it was imperative that we used parts of a notable source so that we could guarantee that the car's going to stop.
That's it. I mean, the brakes themselves, we always say, there's this old joke out there that says, oh, my right-hand brake pads are wearing thin. I'll replace them ones. No, we replace them as a pair so the car brakes evenly, correct?
You repair them as an axle set, so you'll repair the whole lot throughout the front. You can't go around changing one pad and 2 pads.
There's plonkers out there at home and goes, oh, I did that. There's nothing wrong with that. But safety is paramount.
Safety is paramount, and it's important that they're done correctly,
So those parts we also did purchase off eBay, but they were brand new, and we checked the specification. We sent the seller the VIN number of the car, and he checked against his system to make sure they were correct. And it's amazing because when you've got that car on the ramp and you've got the wheels off and the brakes stripped down, the most annoying part in the world is having the wrong brake pads, right?
Absolutely, that's what slows. In a small workshop like this, if you've got a car stuck on the ramp for 4 hours, every other job backs up.
Costs you money, right?
It costs us the money, yeah.
So, you guys might be at home and you might be...
Gotcha.
That's all right. You guys might be at home thinking, how, do I get my parts right so that when I'm sat on my driveway fixing my car, okay, you want them to be right first time. Well, sending an eBay seller your VIN number or your registration number will help them ascertain if the parts are right for you. So in this case, they fitted and they were right first time, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Amazing. I love that. So this car now is safe for Paul Swift to throw this around the track and make the world smile, right?
As safe as it can be with Paul Swift at the wheel, yeah.
Thank you, Nigel, for keeping us on the road.
No problem.
And Nigel keeps all the fleet at the British Motor Show on the road and safe, and also local customers. So go check him out on social media, give him a like and a follow, and if you need an MOT or service, give this man a shout.
Thank you very much.
So, road test it is. Andy, trust me, this is silly. Okay, so the service has been done, the brakes have been replaced, and it's running super smooth. I mean, it's bang on 1,000 RPM. We're going to take it out on the roads and just give it a little bit of a blast, make sure it's smooth. We're not going to go crazy right now because replacing the brakes is imperative. We need to allow them to bed in. The brake disc has got like a slight curve to it like that, and the brake pad's nice and flat. So taking it slow will allow them to bed in. It can take up to 20 miles for them to bed in, but let's get to it. See you soon. I think everyone there was waiting for me to stall it. So straight away, a couple of things you're going to test, okay, when you're driving a car for the first time with the brakes is not really supposed to, but if you take your hand slightly off the steering wheel and press the brake pedal, the car is pulling nice and straight. The steering wheel is not pulling in any direction, which means the calipers are good and the brakes are good. We're going to do a bit of an emergency stop. Look at that, absolutely fantastic. The engine sounds fantastic. That means the oil's circulating brilliantly. Not that you'd notice, because you don't really want to notice there's any changing. No rattles, no noises, no smoke. We're not burning oil, everything's pretty good. It just shows these parts from eBay, although they're second hand, are absolutely just as good as the ones you're going to buy brand new off the shelf in Ford. Engine sounds so good. This is actually the second time I've ever driven a Ford Mustang, and I drove this car before it ran on Sustain fuel and before we'd done the service and the brakes, and I can tell you straight away the brakes are so much better. Those Brembo calipers really do grab hold of it. There's a lot of horsepower here, so you've got to take into consideration it needs a lot of stopping power. So a bit of a nice back road here. We'll give it a little bit of a blast, make sure to clear that exhaust down, make sure those plugs are sparking. Absolutely lovely, nice and smooth through the gears. You know what I'm noticing with the Mustangs is the steering and the handling is so good. You feel like you're racing a go-kart. The power is there, the noise is there. And with a manual transmission, a lot of American cars now are automatics. So you're really getting that real driver's feel. Americans love an automatic car. They can sit back, let their V8 engine purr away and guzzle all that fuel up. But we're using Sustain fuel, so not only are we guzzling the fuel, but we're actually doing better for the environment in our American muscle car. So back to Samson Engineering now, just to let them know it's got a clean bill of health. Fantastic. Andy, I hope you're happy, mate. They've done an amazing job. The Ford Mustang, basically back in the 60s, was developed to basically enable people to have the American dream, okay, but have a bit of fun too. The American dream is to be able to travel across America, prosper, make money, put a roof over your head and enjoy your family life. What you've done here, okay, the 60s muscle cars were about, we've got past the idea of exploring the world and, you know, allowing you to travel around the world, but now you want something which you can choose to have. So an American muscle car gave you that strength for being a man or a lady driver and was proud to have a muscle car. Well, the Ford Mustang has developed so well up until the period now where Europe and England have developed the right-hand drive Mustang, and us English people, we love an American car, and obviously the Americans must like us too, to allow us to have a right-hand drive version and allow us to be part of that American dream too. You gotta love American cars, right? The British Motor Show for me is an amazing show. Not only is there something for your kids to do, your wife, your granddad, even, you know, pushing your kids around. There's some amazing stuff for even the youngest members of your family to see. And there's people walking about, influencers, celebrities, Tim, Fuzz, Mike Brewer. These people are walking around and enjoying the show as much as you people. You know, car guys are car guys for a reason. They grew up with cars and now they're lucky enough to live cars, okay? And every day they work cars. For Mike and Tim and Fuzz, those people will be walking around the British Motor Show. If you want to go up and share your experiences and say hi to them, I'm sure they would love to hear what you're up to. Maybe you're driving a Fiat, maybe you're driving a Fiesta, maybe you're driving a Mustang. But guys, if you're at the British Motor Show, just got a motor, get to the show. Wow, what can I say, okay? Pulled like a train, broke better than I was ever expecting. What an amazing job the guys have done. It drives amazing, it sounds amazing, it stops amazing. Massive shout out to the guys at Samson Motor Engineers, smashed it out of the park. Service is done, and thanks to eBay we managed to get all our parts to keep this car running smoothly and in a sustainable way. Thanks again, eBay.